There's nothing like a big dumb action movie to unite people around the world and save the theatrical experience. Because for the first time in way too fucking long, the box office is showing signs of life. I guess it only took a big dumb action movie to reinvigorate this industry, because that's exactly what Godzilla vs. Kong is. Big dumb action. But you know what you're getting into with a movie called Godzilla vs. Kong, right? This isn't Citizen Kane after all. You got Godzilla on one end and King Kong on the other, and the two of them clash and fight. The plot isn't hard to follow, even despite the fact that the narrative is overly complicated for absolutely no fucking reason. There are secret organizations and traveling to the center of the earth, and all of it is a bunch of nonsense. It's like the movie didn't know what to do with all of its human characters, and as a result, all of the human stuff sucks. These characters aren't important because they don't really matter here. They're just tools that allow the plot to move from one set piece to the next. But there are a lot of human characters here. This movie boasts an ensemble cast of talented actors, so you spend a lot of time with these people. But their characters are so thin and so uninteresting that you won't care about any of them. And all of these characters exist because the narrative actually feels like two separate movies mashed into one. One acts as a Godzilla King of the Monsters sequel where you have a group of people following Godzilla as he attacks undisclosed facilities on the surface. And the other acts as a Kong Skull Island sequel where a group of people need to find a new home for Kong since he is growing too large for Skull Island. And the two storylines intersect whenever the two titans fight each other. But the structure of the movie really makes it easy to favor one storyline over the other. For example, I personally thought the Kong storyline was more interesting than the Godzilla storyline, probably because it felt like a weird video game story with some pretty trippy visuals, but the human characters associated with both storylines are still bland and poorly written. Every time the movie cuts to a person, you'll find yourself just waiting to get back into the action. Thankfully, the action is good. There is a lot of fun to be had watching this movie, especially if you're with a hyped crowd that's cheering and clapping and just ready to have a good time during this monster mash. It just sucks that there's a bunch of stupid human stuff that gets in the way of all of the glorious kaiju action. And I know that's a pretty typical criticism to make for a movie like this, but it's still a pretty valid criticism nonetheless. In fact, I think the only time I ever cared for a human character in a kaiju film was in Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, because Bryan Cranston was fantastic in that movie, and it's a shame that his character was lost so quickly. But Godzilla 2014 is easily my favorite movie in this monsterverse, so take that as you will. I actually prefer the more serious, grounded sci-fi tone in that first film compared to the silly, loud, and bombastic action that we're getting now. But if all you want is big, dumb monster action, then this movie does deliver. I just think I'll personally end up rewatching the action scenes on YouTube since I wouldn't want to sit through all of the human stuff in this movie ever again. So for all of those reasons, I would likely give Godzilla vs. Kong 2 3/4 out of 5 stars. So where does Warner Brothers and Legendary go from here? Godzilla vs. Kong feels like the climactic showdown that this monsterverse has been leading towards all along. So what's next? One can only assume that they'll keep making individual Godzilla and King Kong movies, but will these two titans ever meet again? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But until then, thanks for watching.